Sustainability is a key element to the running of the New Life Foundation, an essential part of which is the food for the staff, residents and volunteers. New Life has worked hard to develop sustainable food sources, vegetable garden, rice fields and fruit trees. With advice from Joe Jando, acclaimed Thailand farmer and earthen home builder, New Life has been able to plan, implement and develop a sustainable approach to producing their own healthy food.
To be self-sustained in small scale is very easy. We start with the vegetable first because food is number one. So we start to dig the soil, cultivate the land, the soil, and then develop the soil, make it more fertile, add more manure, more leaves, more thing in the soil, more and more. And then we start to grow things. It's not hard, but it just takes a little bit of time to do that part.
Lynn Stevens is a volunteer based at New Life. Lynn is developing her interest in permaculture and spends her time organising a team of volunteers to carry out sustainable practices in producing New Life's food.
When they got the land about 3 years ago, the land was really depleted because they'd been growing cassava for years, year after year. So the soil was very hard. There were no nutrients left in that soil. So they initially bought whole truckloads of poo, like manure from cows, pigs, chickens, and tilled the soil and mixed it in. And then they just threw out beans, all sorts of beans, mung beans, red beans, black beans, and let them grow till they were big enough to till under again. So they didn't actually harvest the crop from those beans, but just tilled it under because beans are legumes and they fix nitrogen in the soil. So yeah, they did that in the first year, and then they started growing some crops, some vegetables on it. But the first harvest, really only about 30% of the seeds and the young plants succeeded. So it wasn't very successful at first, and so now we're kind of in the second round of growing crops on the beds here. We're still mixing in more manure, and now we get about 50% of the potential out of the beds. So it will take another year or two before we can grow things at 100% production rate.
Now, how can you decide what you have to grow or where you have to get the seeds?
It's quite easy to make decision which one we need to grow. We just come back to ourselves, what do we like to eat? So just grow whatever we eat. So, and then when we grow them, normally we cannot eat all of it. So we have some surplus to sell or give away to people.
We grow vegetables, but we also grow lots of fruits. At the front of the property we've got a whole orchard of mango trees, coconut trees, lots of banana trees as well, because bananas, they retain the water, so they're really useful. They create shade as well. They can be used as fodder for the pigs. Obviously we want to eat the bananas, so it's a really useful plant to have around. We grow lots of papayas as well. The trees are very small still, but normally in a year's time we're going to have papayas all over the place. We have them for breakfast, so we really need lots of them. We grow our own rice as well. We've got rice fields and we have 2 harvests a year. We're really excited because we've got our own rice mill now, so we can start eating brown rice instead of the white rice that we used to get back from the rice mills in town. And then our fruit orchard, the trees are very small, but we've got anything from rambutans to longan to sapodilla to limes, kaffir limes. Yeah, in a few years' time we'll be eating a huge variety of fruits. We've also got a pineapple plantation. Those little pineapples are starting to show, so in about 2 to 3 months we'll be eating our own pineapples. Still have to buy from the market, but hopefully at one point that will change and we'll be able to feed ourselves from our garden. And that again, in recovery, that really helps because people learn how to eat healthily, eat a proper portion of vegetables and fruits every day. So it helps people with their diet, changing their diet as well.